Hi, welcome to Watch It Played. My name is Rodney Smith. When I go to gaming conventions, there's one booth I've stopped at several times. If you've watched this show for a while, then you know that I like to upgrade some of my favorite games with custom inserts, carrying solutions, upgraded components, and so on. Well, this booth I'm talking about is Meeple, and the number and variety of different components and bit upgrades they have for games is staggering. They sent me a selection of those, and I should mention at no cost to myself, but my hope was that by showing you some of these products, if this is something that you might have an interest in, then you get a pretty good idea of what it is that they have to offer. So let's go to the table and we'll take a look. Dead of Winter is a game with excellent production values, but Meeple takes it a step further by converting many of the flat cardboard pieces into 3D, full-color wooden bits. Normally in the game, wounds and frostbite are found on the same double-sided tokens, but now you'll get pieces for each. Wooden blood drops for wounds, and frostbite on snowflake stamped discs. This set comes with 20 of the wounds and 15 of the frostbite pieces. Adding food to the colony? Well, now you can bring attention to your good community service with these pieces for the canned goods. They'll never suspect you're a traitor now. That said, if you cause the colony to starve, they've got you covered for that as well. And I should mention that all these printed pieces are printed on both sides. Doing some extra searching, the noise tokens become these ear-shaped pieces. I don't know about you guys, but I frequently forget to roll for noise, so these will probably stand out better for me. Your wooden barricades will now actually be wooden barricades. And those helpless survivors in the colony, well, yes, they're still going to be a pain to deal with, but if they're going to keep eating your supplies, they'll at least now have the appearance of a body to put them in. All of these come in the 121-piece Dead of Winter set. If you picked up Dead of Winter The Long Night, they've got you covered there as well with a separate set. You can now blow up those pesky zombies with these explosive tokens. And in case things start looking up, there's a set of despair tokens to remind you you're in the middle of a zombie apocalypse. When you're working on your colony, you'll now have wooden hammers for your different advancements. Just when you thought helpless survivors couldn't get any worse, the expansion introduces unruly ones. And now you'll have a way to distinguish those as well. All of this comes together to form the 57-piece set, which also includes an upgraded token for the first player marker. Scythe is another game we featured on the channel, and again, another game with beautiful production values, but even here you'll find some new options for the components. The worker meeples in the game were different for each faction, but now you can personalize them further with these uniquely printed larger versions. Each of these draw on the themes of their home territories. And you'll notice versions are included for the factions from the Invaders from Afar expansion. Although the workers are larger, in case you're wondering, they're still sized to fit perfectly into the player boards. These all come in their own separate 56-piece set, but there are several different sets you can get for Scythe that can also be combined as part of a fuller set. But let's look at one of the other options. For example, you also get these new action tokens, and I think these are a pretty nice replacement for what comes in the game as they feel a little more substantial, and they each have the faction's logos imprinted on the top. You can pick these up in a set with the workers or get them as their own separate 7-piece set. You can also get an upgrade kit for the cardboard tokens, which include wooden pieces for the encounters, as well as for the purple traps and green flags of the new factions in Invaders from Afar. The traps are blank on the top to hide their effects, which are imprinted on the underside. And all of this makes up its own 19-piece set, which can also be combined with other ones. And there are several other Scythe-related upgrades you can get as well, including promos, coins, and other things, but I'll direct you to their website to check those out. If Elder Sign isn't terrifying enough for you already, you can also upgrade its many cardboard components with this wooden set. You get new bits for health and sanity. The old cardboard tokens had different denominations, but this just provides you with plenty, so you won't have to worry about switching them out, and besides, you'll lose long before you need to use all of these. There's also Elder Signs and Clue tokens, and again, so many that they must just be trying to make you feel more optimistic about your chances of winning. And finally, we have the Doom tokens, and there's just enough of these. That is, just enough to cause you to lose the game. All of these come together to make up the 160-piece set. These next two I'll go through quickly, but I just had to have them. If you have dungeon pets, you can now get an upgrade set with pieces that are shaped more appropriately for what they represent. The veggies and meat, instead of looking like square green and red cubes, actually look like veggies and meat. With all that eating, you know the animals are going to create a bit of waste, but now the poop cubes are more appropriately shaped into these little mounds. Got some suffering animals? Well, now they'll be easier to spot with these little suffering skulls. And hey, it's not all bad. Also included are these canned foods and lollipops for the Dark Alleys expansion, all of which comes together in this 99-piece set. If I remember correctly, the first time I heard about Meeple Source was when I first saw their set for Tzolk'in. The corn in the game, which was originally these cardboard tokens, has been upgraded to these wooden corn pieces. There are also cross-sections of log pieces, gold nuggets, and stone bits to replace the original colored cubes. All of these make up the 167-piece set. So those were just some of the options that they have for upgrading certain specific games. But they also have more generic pieces that you can get to mix and match upgrading components in your games as you might have an interest in. I have some of those as well, so let's go back to the table and I'll quickly run you through them. First of all, if you have a game with plain meeples, there are so many options to pick from. Instead of plain ones for your Carcassonne game, you could personalize each individual piece if you wanted to. You really need to go to their website just to get a sense of how many options there are, but it goes well beyond meeples. Have a game that uses weapons or treasures? There's lots to pick from in those categories, or maybe you need something to represent buildings in a game. There's choices for that too. Lots of games come with paper money or cardboard coins, but now you can get printed wooden ones to replace them in a variety of styles and denominations. We saw some samples of food types earlier, but there are lots of other ones as well, and I mean lots and lots, and then even more, and yep, even more after that. So many. They have animals too, and these come in enough shapes and sizes to make even Noah jealous. If you want more options for a variety of resources, you'll find those as well. I particularly like this fire piece here, possibly an upgrade for Flashpoint Fire Rescue or Mansions of Madness. They also have a category classified as Other, which again provides several more options. But as I was looking at these, and many of the other components that we've already seen, it made me think that if you were prototyping a game, upgrading your work-in-progress game with components from Meeple Source would probably make for a pretty impressive presentation. I should also mention they have several of these more simple pieces, making up the more basic shapes that we're used to seeing in games, if that's something that you need. As I said, this is just a small sample of everything that they have to offer. I really need to direct you to their website to check out the rest of it, which I'll put a link to in the description below. But hopefully this video gave you a sense of the variety and quality of the product. If you have any questions about anything that you saw here, don't hesitate to put them in the comments below and I'll gladly answer them as soon as I get a chance. But until the next episode, thanks for watching.